Welcome back to another Wisdom Wednesday discussion. I am your guide, Nspired, generating, uplifting, inspiring, developing, and empowering you to live inspired every day, forever, because that's life. And today, this month, we begin a new theme. And this is week one. If it's your first time being here with us, welcome. If you're reoccurring, welcome back. We appreciate you. This month is about the harvested wisdom. And this week, we are remembering the light. Because at this time, we want to reclaim that inner light. And this is the first time I'm actually doing this, but I've been called, it's been on my spirit. And I want to dedicate this week's discussion about remembering the light to anybody who has lost it or felt that they have lost it. I want to dedicate this to my daughter, my daughters, my son, and any other children out there who may be going through struggles at this time. I want to dedicate this to any adults, in particular, fathers and mothers who are going through a struggle at this time. And the light may seem dim, faded, or lost. This is where we reclaim. This is where we remember. This is where we recall it back to us. So that's the focus. The focus is reconnecting within ourselves, reconnecting to that wisdom within ourselves, reconnecting to that divine spark. When we were children, it seemed like everything was so bright. There was so much potential to our life. And then at some point, it began to get dim. It wasn't as bright as it once was. Now, as adults or wherever we find ourselves at this time in life, we can see a lot of dim, desolate, despair, destructive, even diminished futures and potentials. But it doesn't have to be that way. We see that, yet we can also see something different. And we want to reclaim what was never lost. And that was our light. It was never lost. Maybe it got buried. It was dimmed. It was forgotten underneath all the layers of survival and self-doubt. And now it's time to remove those layers so that we can see the light once again. To remind ourselves, not just of what we went through, but what we've become because of that and who we are. You have just as much potential today as you did yesterday. And it's time that we begin to reclaim that. So that is our focus, getting back to it, taking back what is rightfully ours. And our affirmation for today, for this discussion, is every piece of my soul is returning to its rightful place. The intention is to call back those fragments, the pieces of us that broke off, that made us feel like we're not whole because a part of me is over there and a part of me may be over there and I don't know where the other part of me is. I feel lost. We are calling that back. Scattered pieces of us through time, through choices, through the experiences that we go through. We want to restore within ourselves that unity, that oneness, the wholeness, that feeling of being complete, being connected, being aligned. And we do this by remembering that our origin is divine. So we're simply returning to our divinity as we've been reclaiming our sovereignty. And the outcome, what we are hopeful for, is that we begin to experience that renewed, remembered, recall, realign. We want to experience the renewal, the wholeness, the clarity, and the inner peace. For in this life, that is yours. This is why you reclaim it. Lost and found, you lost it, it's found. You must go reclaim it. Otherwise, it just stays there. So what you thought was lost that you can never get back, it's no, you have to go reclaim it. That's all. And we do that by recalling that old life. So now we begin to experience this renewed life where we live inspired every day forever, because that is life. And this is our first step of many towards that radiance, living out loud where we have been stuck in silence. Dare I even say dying in silence. We are going to begin to live out loud. So to begin to open, we talk about the forgotten flame. And it's forgotten because we didn't remember that we had it to begin with. That there has always been a fire within us, a flame that, like the Olympic torch, it didn't burn out. And if we felt that it did, we can rekindle that, reignite that fire. And where we want to start is with our guiding question. We want us to ask ourselves, to begin to initiate that remembering, to ask ourselves, where in my life do I feel spiritually dispersed? Where do I feel as if I am showing up as a different version of myself, depending on the situation or the audience, my surroundings? Where in your life do you feel spiritually dispersed, showing up as a different version of yourself, depending on the situation or surroundings? This is very key because at this time we are being called to go deeper within ourselves. We are given that access now to go deeper within ourselves where maybe we avoided before. Maybe we didn't know how, didn't understand. And right now we are being called to do this. We are being given the tools. Moving from this fall, especially in the month of November, this is like, for me, this is the fall. It's like November for me is when you see the leaves change. They've already changed. They've fallen off. I remember as a child is when we have to go out and rake the most leaves. And Thanksgiving is coming. And the symbolism around that has always been that the fall where things change, leading into the winter. And one thing that is synonymous with winter is hibernation, whether it's animals hibernating or nature hibernating. So just as trees draw in sap inwardly to survive the winter, we are going to gather our scattered pieces, that scattered light that we need from the past experiences, relationships, and prior versions of ourselves that served their purpose before but no longer reflect who we're becoming. We have to collect those pieces, bring them back so that we can remember. And the reason why I keep saying remember is because we forget. We're human, right? So many things happen in a day that adds up to a week, that creates a month, that goes into a year. And there's so many years of your life. And the trials that you have been through can cause us to forget how brilliant you are. You forget how resilient you are. Yet we remember what didn't happen, woulda. And that replaces what did happen. So oftentimes we think about the pain of the experience and not the lesson that we learned. We think about what we've been through without realizing that we're through that point. We're on the other side. We forget your brilliance. We begin to dim ourselves in order to survive. We minimize, we shrink. And a lot of times it's for survival, but it's also part of that survival is being accepted, fitting in. That's the issue. We minimize ourselves to be accepted, to fit in, when you are here to maximize yourself, to stand out. When you stand out, that can be a lonely place, if that's part of your brilliance. A lot of people say, born alone, die alone. And we say it in such a heavy fashion, such a negating, a negative fashion, like born alone, die alone. This is why I don't need nobody to trust. It's not necessarily that. It shows you how you can come in here by yourself. So when we keep looking around, wanting to be accepted and fit into everything else, that's the reminder you came in here by yourself. You ain't fit in. You weren't accepted. That's part of your brilliance. You stand out. You maximize. You show your light. We shouldn't be afraid to show our light. Instead, we dim it because we don't want to be too much. So we rather be not enough or less than. And it's time that you live greater than the expectation that you had yesterday, greater than the trials and tribulations that you faced yesterday, greater than the fear and the doubt that you expressed or that was expressed to you. I often like to say, I'm too big to be little. And that goes two ways. I'm too big to talk down on somebody else. I don't want to do that to belittle somebody else. But I'm also too big to try and minimize myself to fit in and be accepted by anywhere, especially on the internet, where we don't know who is who and what is what. And people seem to be more adept at bringing you down than lifting you up. We don't need to try and fit in spaces like that. Spaces that tell you, nope, you can come, but leave all those parts of you outside. Spaces that tell you or make you feel like you're not enough. Spaces that belittle you, that ridicule you, that make you feel if I go in there as myself, I won't be accepted. Then you don't need to be there. We're done dimming our light. For what? If Motel 6 will keep the light on for you, then damn well you better keep the light on. So our job is to fight like hell so that we don't dim our light. Because the moment that you dim your light and somebody sees that, they think it's okay to dim their light. The hell with that. Rihanna says shine bright like a diamond. I say shine bright till you blind them. And if they can't see, good. But we're not dimming our light to make you comfortable. We're not dimming our light to fit in. We're not dimming our light because you can't see. Sorry. Get a visor, wear some shades, do whatever you need to do. But I shine bright. And I'm not going to apologize for that. Because when do the apologies come when you dim your light? When do the apologies come for you minimizing yourself? How many times has somebody apologized to you or the world has ever said, I'm sorry for making you feel less than? Don't happen. Suck it up. No pain, no gain. They tell you these things so you can continue on with a dim light. To hell with that. It's time to keep the light on. It's time to remember. And to remember is not just our thoughts. To remember is to put the pieces back together. To recall has to do with our thought. We can recollect and recall what happened yesterday and things that happened. But when we actually remember, we are putting pieces back together. It's time to remember ourselves, to put the pieces back that we scattered, that we gave away, that we misplaced. We're going back and collecting the pieces of ourselves because it's time to be me fully, freely. Because if you can't be you, then who you want to be anyway? If you're not going to live your life, then what life are you going to live? You forgot your brilliance because you're looking at everybody else and you're saying, look at what they're doing. They're exceptional. And the only reason why you can't see your exceptionality is because you're looking at everybody else and what they're doing. And the moment that you start doing, all of a sudden, start seeing, start feeling, you start believing. So it's not that you can't, it's that you aren't. Anything you can do, I can do better. It's not just a song. It's not just some cliche thing we say. It is the most truth that you can ever experience in your life. The question is, do you ever experience that in your life? For to experience it is to do something greater, not than just me or somebody else, but then your own self. I can do better. It's not just about what you can do, but that I can do better than what I've already done. Shout out to Ab-Soul. He has a song called Do Better. And this is exactly what he talks about. That I know that I can do better. And if we are believing that we can do better, we ain't got time to be bitter. All we can see is us getting bigger, which means I'm too big to be little. You're too big to be little. Don't shrink yourself to try and fit in to somewhere you didn't belong anyway. Imagine, oh, I love this vehicle, but you can't even fit in it, but you want to drive it around and show everybody, but you're uncomfortable. This is your life. You want to fit yourself into a small little, so you can show off to everybody, but it's uncomfortable. It's like a soap opera. You got one life to live, and if you ain't living it right, you're going to end up in general hospital. Hey, seriously. For the spirit of man is the candle of the Lord, searching all the inward parts of the belly. The spirit of man is, not what is, the candle of the Lord. So the spirit of man is the candle. You know what the candle is? If you got a candle, it's a light. It's how we used to see before we had electric lights and everything. They had candles. Matter of fact, if your electricity go off, guess what? You better have some candles. And so if you don't have that candle, it's going to be dark. So if the spirit of man is the candle and your spirit is affected, it's dim, your life is dark. Telling us right here how important our spirit is. That divine spark within us is always present. Clear it out. It's always present, waiting to be discovered through stillness and self-honor. You think that you can defile yourself and not honor thyself, and then your life is going to be right. No. Excuse me. You believe that, oh no, I'm going to just stay on the move, keep my mind full of all these worries, and that I'll eventually find it. It'll come to me. No. You are told to be still and know. And we are told here that the spirit of man is the candle of the Lord, searching all inward parts of the belly. Searching all inward parts. We are not told to go outside and look for all these things. We keep being reminded, go within yourself. If you lost it, go within yourself to find it. Because it's not lost. It is waiting. Have you ever been waiting? It's waiting. So what are we waiting for? We're being told over and over and over and over what we need to do. What are we waiting for? Who are you waiting for? When it's telling you, hey, this is what you need to do, we want to wait. When something is waiting on you and you waiting on something else, we're like, so what you doing? Waiting? What you waiting on? Somebody to come find me? What are you waiting on? You to come find me? Oh, wait, you waiting on me? Yeah, who are you waiting on? I don't know. What you're looking for is waiting on you to find it. So what are you looking for? To reclaim. So remembering how we begin to reclaim. Remember, putting back these pieces is going to allow us to claim our life. So when we're talking about the spirit, when we're talking about the soul and retrieving the soul, that isn't about recovering who you were. It's not about going back to who I was. That was a fun time and I like being that person. It is about integrating all of you, every single part of you, to become everything you are meant to be. You got to go back and get those parts that you loved and that you did not like. We got to bring them all together because that is who you are, and it is needed so we can become who we need to be. You cannot discard these parts of you and say, nope, I want to get rid of this, because then you're not you. And if you're not you, you can't be who you're meant to be. And when you're not who you're meant to be, your life is full of misery. And because misery loves company, you start inviting people in. Y'all sit right here. I got plenty of room for y'all. Oh no, yeah, you can sit right here. No, company got to go home. It's bedtime. Past your curfew. Everybody got to go home. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of fear. Ain't be there no more. Sorry, not sorry. Time to move around. Remembering as reclaiming. We are putting the pieces back together so we can reclaim. This is mine. I'm sitting on the throne. I am king. I am queen. I rule here. I put other things in place to rule. This is why I felt like a fool. This is why my life kept going topsy-turvy, because who is this? Who is in charge? That's where I'm supposed to be. But I can't be there because I'm too afraid of being there. I'm too afraid of being who I need to be. I'm wondering, well, what would they think of me? Will I be accepted? Well, they're going to leave. You cannot block something from happening because of what you fear. You just delay it. And now it's a flag on the play, delay of game. It's time to live our life. So in this remembering, it's not just nostalgia, even though it's like, oh, those nostalgic moments, when I think about them, I just remember. No, reclamation with an exclamation. We reclaim it. Hey, this squatter's rights on my life. I'm reclaiming it. This is mine. Nope, you gotta get out. I don't care. Bye. If we got to, we're gonna toss you out like Jazz in the Fresh Prince. Kick them out. This is where I am supposed to be. And again, when we remember, we bring back together the parts of ourselves that we forgot belong. Oh, dang, that go right here. Oh, that goes over here. Oh, that goes in my heart. Oh, they belong to you. So you have to go bring back together those parts of you where you forgot that they belong. You wanted to give them away because, hey, nobody does that. Nobody give this away. That's not cool. I want to exchange this for something else over here. I want to give this piece of me away because that's not accepted by people. And I want to take that piece that is. And then you end up with so many pieces that you're a Frankenstein. Now they scared of you. Oh, what is this? Oh, no. And now you're like, but I did this for y'all. I did this because you said you would accept me. And you said I'll be able to be respected. And you said you'd never leave. And it happens. And now you don't even know who you are. Would it not be a better experience to just be yourself and allow everything else to fall in place? If I am myself and I'm happy and enjoy every single day, and the people that I knew, the opportunities that I had, the life that I once lived had to go away for me to be myself and be in joy and peace every single day, you don't want that? You're telling me that you'd rather exchange a life of joy and peace for monetary possession? Each his own. That's where you are. But how fulfilling is that? How freeing and liberating is that? This is what we call selling our soul. Instead of remembering, instead of reclaiming, we give it up in exchange for physical possessions, in exchange for some appreciation that'll be gone tomorrow, in exchange to be accepted in a place that'll reject you later on, for some notoriety, for strangers to lift you up, and then those same strangers to tear you down. We'd rather go outside than be inside. This is that reminder that every challenge that once made you feel lost, everything that once made you feel like you didn't belong, was actually a breadcrumb. And if you follow them, it leads you right back home. So go trace the breadcrumbs. It's going to lead you right back home where the heart is. And as you begin to recollect those pieces of you, and now you're ready to put them back, you're saying, what do I do with these? Then you start to see which parts of you belonged and where they belong. You have to hold on to that, to your love, to yourself. And these are things that you're shunned against. These are things they talk down upon. No, don't do that. Because in doing that, you strengthen yourself. In doing that, you reconnect, you realign to the Most High, to the universe, to God, your ancestors, whatever it is that you call it. And society, the world at large, doesn't want that. Because if you do that, I cannot control you. If you do that, you're liberated, you're free, you broke free from the system. Your wants and needs don't align with what I want and need from you. You're sovereign. And that person is able not only to do for themselves, but to do for others as well. For if you light a lamp for someone else, it will also brighten your path. If you light a lamp for someone else, it would also brighten your path. It comes from Buddha, reminding us that, you know what? It's not just about the selfish things that I may want because I'm looking outside of myself. It's about knowing who I am, first of all. Know thyself. And when I begin to do that, when I turn the light on within me, I can now turn the light on for someone else. And if I do that, boom, my path is brightened as well. Because now there's just not one light on this path that I'm going. There are multiple lights. Yet if my light ain't even on, I can't light yours. But you know what I can do? I can go around telling you why your light ain't lit and why it's impossible to light your light and all these things that can diminish because my light isn't lit. And if I don't have light, then nobody has light. It doesn't even exist. It's not real. They're lying to you because I've never experienced it. Why are we too big to be little? Because I know that maybe you haven't experienced it yet. I'm not going to argue your truth because that's your truth until you experience the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Until that time, why would I argue about your experience? Why would I argue or even listen to this argument about, well, this is real and this isn't real if I'm experiencing something different? So we don't need to go around putting out people's lamps. We need to light ours and then ignite others and brighten the path. And then maybe those people will be able to see even more clearly as we have more people walking the path with the light on. Everybody Motel 6. For I will restore to you the years that the locusts have eaten. This is Joel chapter 2, verse 25. I will restore to you the years that the locust hath eaten. Restore. It doesn't erase. So the past is not erased. It's not gone. It's redeemed. All those things that you went through didn't go away, but they're redeemed. You learn the lesson. You understand why they happened. So that dim light is now brightened, being the light bulb that we saw in so many of the cartoons and movies and everything that comes over your head. The aha, my past was needed. And now that I presently see that there is a future, what felt like it was eaten away, there was gone, things were eating away at me, whether it was by time, circumstances, trauma, distractions, that then becomes, as we continue to talk about planting seeds, that sacred compost for your life to start blooming. Don't throw away, especially not yourself, when so much of you is needed to become who you are needed to be. You lose one piece of that puzzle, the whole thing is going to be messed up. You're going to complete a puzzle and a piece is going to be missing. And so that puzzle is not complete. It's going to drive you crazy. Where is this piece? So we're going and reclaiming all the pieces to our puzzle so that we can begin to put them back together. And then once we're done, boom, the past is redeemed. The losses are lessons. We live and we learn. And something that I recently came across in studying the Dagar tribe, or the lineage of the Dagar people. Piece of Dagar wisdom says, when a person forgets their name, the village gathers to sing it back to them. When a person forgets their name, the village gathers to sing it back to them. So even in that, did ever forgotten? Maybe you forgot. Well, the village is here to remind you. Gonna sing your name back to you so you can recall and begin to remember. Because the more you illuminate others, you rediscover light. And the stronger you become, the brighter you become, the lighter you become. For us to truly get to that point where we can help others, it starts here. As much as you want to do good for the world, you have to make sure you do good by you. Because what does it mean for a man to gain the world and to lose himself? And you lose yourself if you know thyself. And when you begin to know thyself, do you not have the potential to gain the world? The stronger you become, the more you begin to illuminate others. And so a practice, as we move into our practice and then contrast, and then taking the leap forward, which again, as a reminder, if you're watching this on YouTube, you need to follow that link and get on Noom Vibe, because that is the place where you are going to be able to not only join the conversation, but you're going to get that LEAP protocol, or you're part of our email list and you'll get it in the magazine. But don't miss out. Take the leap forward in your life so that you can begin to live inspired every day forever. However, because we're not just going to leave you hanging, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to offer you a practice that you can do. But I'm telling you, practice, that leap forward is game time. That leap forward is practical application. You're going to want that too. But this practice is for soul retrieval ritual. Getting back to that soul, rekindling that flame. And so when you do this, as I'm messing with my eye, you're going to want to close your eyes and breathe deeply. Why? Because when you close your eyes, you break free from distractions. When you begin to breathe, you reconnect. We want to break free from distractions and reconnect. So when you're doing this, I invite you to close your eyes and begin to breathe deep. The first step is going to be to use your imagination and visualize a younger version of yourself. You want to visualize this younger person of yourself at that time when you were radiant, joyful, experiencing peace. If it's hard for you to do that, then in your imagination, go back to your younger self and create it. See your younger self being joyful, radiant, unburdened. Because when we were younger, you didn't have to pay bills and you didn't have to do all this and hurry up. And you were a kid. You played in the sand and played in the mud. You were unbothered by a lot. 5 minutes felt like 5 days. Are we there yet? So using our imagination Go back to your younger self and visualize. And as you begin to see it, whisper, I remember you. I honor you. I welcome you home. I remember you when I was radiant, joyful, and unburdened. And I honor you and I welcome you home. And lastly, this version that you are seeing, using our imagination again, imagine you stepping in to that, merging that light, younger self, into who you are now. Integrate, bringing them together. And then take out your pen, get your handy dandy journal. Make sure you got a LiEF Inspired journal, by the way. And what you want to do is write in there, and your journal prompt is going to be, what memory or moment reconnects me to my authentic self? Which memory did you go to where you saw yourself radiant, joyful, unburdened? What memory or moment reconnects me to my authentic self, comma, before the world told me who I should be? This is why we go back to a younger version of ourselves, because the world hasn't really told you who you should be yet. You have so much potential as a child. Let the child be. Then you get to a point where they start telling you who you should be. So this journal prompt is to recall and remember, when did I feel authentic? Because that's where we're going back to. We're going back so that we can go forward as our authentic self. No more locked doors. And so in contrast, we practice. Now we want to talk about contrast. We want to talk about performing light versus embodying light. When we're performing and embodying, that living. And when we're scattered versus integrated. Because if we're performing, we're scattered. When we're embodying, we're integrated. And so as a performing artist, when we're performing as light, pretending, we are seeking validation. We were seeking validation. Yep. Perform. Is this good enough for you? No. What about this? No, you didn't like that either. What about this one? No. We keep seeking validation, but we was never validated. We was whole, trying to appear like everything was good. We was faking it. We wasn't making it. Performing. We were scattered, meaning seeking validation, trying to appear whole, people pleasing, being exhausted from trying to maintain these multiple personalities, these multiple versions of ourselves. It gets exhausted. Oh man, and I gotta pretend to be this person over here, and the Academy Award goes to not you, because in doing all that performance and all the people pleasing, we're scattered. This is a bad movie. Why are we watching this? Nobody wants to see this. It's disgusting. It's horrible. Who wrote this script? And you're asking who wrote this, because when you look in the mirror, when you look at yourself, you like, I don't even know this person. Who is this? That's you. That's me? Where? How? So scattered again. We all over the place. Yet when we begin to embody and we integrate, when we are embodying light, I'm just being that. That is me. That's who I am. That's being grounded. You don't punishment. You're grounded. That's actually a good thing. We're grounded. We are authentic. I'm me. And without needing permission, we're shine. Because I don't need your permission to shine. I don't need your permission to be luminous. I do that because I'm me. I'm authentic. So why would I ever want to be not that? Why would I ever want to need permission? I know we don't. Look, who really likes, they're like, I love needing permission. I love having to ask if it's okay if I'm able to do something. No, that's crazy. This is why we are in such a rush as kids to be grown, because then I can do what I want to do. Then you get grown and you still ain't doing what you want to do. Still asking for permission, still seeking validation. So when we were a kid or a teenager and we was just living life, but we weren't able to do certain things, we exchange that freedom. We exchange that authenticity for people pleasing, permission, performance. Because we hope that we get an award for this performance. Did I do it good enough? No. Well, I'll do it again. All that dancing, it's exhausting. You're gonna need to rest. When we become integrated into this life, not only do we become whole, we're showcasing our wholeness. We are consistent. within our values, our morals, across everything. It don't even change. It's consistent there. It doesn't change. We're not doing all of this. We're trying, please this, fit in here, do good. No, it's this all the way across. We preserve our energy because we're being authentic. Think about how much energy I can serve just by being my authentic self. I don't have to put on for nobody. So it's like, what? We're not here? I'm leaving. This is where that peace comes from, because you're not giving so much of yourself and not getting nothing in return. You're able to conserve that because I know where I need to give this, when I need to give, and how much I need to give. I am now in control of my supply. It don't matter about your demand. I control supply. If I don't control supply, then I am just in demand. I'm demanding, please, I need more. Can I have some, please? And then they say no. What? That's for permission. You should be moving them out the way, putting yourself in position. The boss paid the cost to be the boss. Like James Brown said, the key is you got to pay that cost. So what is life if we keep paying this cost, but we don't never get to be the boss? What is that? You're going to keep paying? I'm paying the cost, but you don't never take ownership? Being our authentic self, integrating, embodying is taking ownership. If I'm going to pay for it, I want that. That's mine. I'm not about to pay in installments for my whole life. You crazy. This is what we begin to do. You know what? I'll pay an installment. And I may never experience this life, but I'm going to pay. No, we paying up front and we taking it. This is mine. Thank you. We want to develop that deep familiarity within ourselves and that deep self-trust, which means that if I feel in my spirit that I shouldn't go, I don't go against that. I got a deep familiarity and trust within myself, so I don't even go. They can question you all day. Why didn't you do it? Because I didn't feel like it. But why? I didn't feel like it. I trust myself. And what we are noticing, or what I hope we have begun to notice, is how society, the world, wants you to not trust yourself. They want to break that trust, to break your spirit. If I break your spirit, I broke you. This is where control starts. If I'm strong in my spirit, if I have a deep familiarity and self-trust, it's going to be hard for them to get over, for them to manipulate. And then this is when they get angry. This is when they get frustrated. This is when they get mad because they can't get to you. Time to recall and remember. It's true radiance. When we're truly radiant, that's not loud. It's not loud. Hey, hey, it's not all that. It's lived. We see it. We feel it. You see that? Hey, what is that? Oh my goodness. It's captivating because you're living it. And if you're living your life, do you have time to even try to be loud and try to over explain and try? I'm too busy living. I'm focused. I'm going forward.